Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Empowering Process podcast. Today, we're going to be talking with Jennifer Reefe, Reefe. She is a tapper, that's a tapping coach. And we're going to talk about her near death experience and finding self love. Come join me in this amazing discussion. Hey, Jennifer. So, yes,
Hello.
technology has not been my friend either this week. So, we almost didn't meet because she lost her internet. But, we've got it
Did
back. And here we are. So, I would like to start our conversation because this fascinates me is your near death experience and how that has changed your life and how you've taken that and really have embraced bringing that forward to others.
Yeah, I think it was a combination of that near-death experience of the time before. So I was 38. But before that, I had a story and I was adopted and I had lots of issues along the way. So that leading up to that near-death experience had a lot to do with that. So when I realized and came back, I was so confused and so frail and so unable to look after my 6-year-old and now a newborn baby because I'd had the death experience, near death experience, while I was having a cesarean. So it was too much. And they sent me home after 3 weeks because I could walk up 2 steps. My mum was there. She was 80 at the time. My husband was all over the place. He should have been at work and he wasn't because he couldn't deal with it. And my 2 children. So, yeah. So, moving on 18 months later, through a lot of pain, mentally more than physically, I somebody told me about a course and thought it would be good for me. And I had no idea what it was. I signed up and it was a counseling course. So, this is where I started my learning all about myself and how and why I was angry and a victim and all the things that weren't serving me. So it was a wonderful, things do come to you without you knowing because that was just recommended. It was random, and that's why I don't think there's any coincidences. As long as you can say yes to them, if not, something else will come. You don't have to say yes to everything. But I said yes, and it was the beginning of my training as a human being with
Oh, I love that. Training as a human being. So before that, what would you consider yourself?
a very confused, unhappy, trying things out that didn't work a lot of the time, and being a victim, as in bullied at school, or somebody would say something to me, and I'd think, oh, yeah, I should do that for them. I was always trying to please, that one, the people pleaser. I was always trying to do that because I thought that if you pleased people, they would like you. This is not true. Quite the opposite.
Yeah.
So while I was running around confused, trying to be grown up, because as you get older and you think you know everything, you're 20 and you know everything and you know nothing. I was having fun and I did have a lovely life and I was had great jobs. So I wasn't suffering in other ways, but internally, which came out externally, of course, what you're thinking about, you bring about. So I guess I then the course actually made me stop and look at myself. I was looking and blaming other people. That's what the victim is. It's your fault. It's nothing to do with me. It's all your fault. Well, I realized that it was my responsibility, not my fault, after 4 years of therapy, because when you are training to be a counselor, you have to go into therapy. And I was
Yeah,
very
you don't want to be talking to someone who doesn't have their act together, right? So, and I will interject here, then I want you to continue. Um, one of the things that I am very sure of now with myself, I consider myself a guide, is I do not step down a path with you that I haven't stepped down myself. If I haven't been there, done that, experienced that, or then I don't have the expertise to support you. So I will find someone who does,
yes.
right?
But I also think when you start to learn about yourself, you can empathize with people, even if you've never had that. I mean, if it's a traumatic experience and you never had that, that would be more difficult. But I do think that you have that ability naturally. I mean, I think we have this naturally. It came out later rather than earlier because I love what I do, but with such love and giving and my knowledge and my experiences. I think that kind of makes me whole,
Mhm.
but I'm always learning. It's never going to be whole. I'm learning every day. But I do feel satisfied now that I have put myself in a place that I understand myself first and stop blaming other people. That's for me, that's so enlightening because then you take responsibility or not.
Right. Then you at least have a choice.
Choices
And it's a
and not
conscious
blaming.
choice, right?
Yeah.
Right. And that's really, really important, a conscious choice. One of the things that I do with the clients who are open to it is it's called a soul realignment. And I basically go to the Akashic records and who were you as of creation and a whole bunch of other things. And I do warn people that once you have this awareness as to this is your gift, this is your power, once you open up, you now can no longer go back
No.
because karma will smack you in the face. Right?
Yeah.
Because karma is like, you know better.
Yes. Well, yes, you're accountable for yourself, but you know it.
Yeah, and you know it.
That's that's the thing. You go into a situation now. So I'll go into a situation now and think, okay, so for instance, if it was my husband and we're having a little to do and I'm doing the blame game, I kind of know it and I stop and
You
I
have to
stop. I mean,
stop.
that awareness to stop is everything. And if you don't do it that time, you know. So you'll do it better next time. But it is that self-regulation that no one has any power over you. So you're empowered by your own sense and love and connection to the planet, to energy. You don't need these people to tell you how, what, when, and where. That's there, lovely. I'm glad you. It's fine. You don't like it. It's fine. So that's a big thing for me, having that sort of security in a way with myself. I feel secure. I don't always get it right, but then I can be much lighter about it and say, I'll do better next time. I'll
Well,
try
and
again.
not only that. So this is my new thing. This is such a beautiful way of explaining. For me, when I finally intentionally shedded those blame game things and started owning my own results and my own actions, I was able to breathe. And in that ability to breathe, I became connected. Well, we're always
Absolutely.
connected. We just don't pay attention,
You don't know it. Yeah.
right? We just don't know it. And so I call this the universe, God, I don't care, whatever you call this thing that we come from,
Yeah.
has our best interest in mind and knows what game we chose to play this time around.
Yes.
And no matter what step I take, it does not matter because the universal GPS will recalculate.
Yeah, it's almost like having your own sat nav, isn't
Yes,
it?
yes.
Yeah, because then you're what you see, then I'm working like you are together with the universe. We're not working against it. We're understanding whatever we can understand, you know.
It's co-creation.
Yeah, yeah. And it's all for the good. It makes you feel good, other people feel good. There's more feeling good in me now than used to be feeling bad, you know.
Right. And we never know. I mean, I know I never know what's going to come out of my mouth. And
No,
then
that's right.
someone will say, that was amazing. And I'm thinking, okay, but it's what they needed to hear at the time.
And you're not even knowing that. I'm like, I was on a
No,
call today with somebody and stuff was coming out. I'm honestly, I was almost could have sat there looking at myself thinking,
what?
where is this coming from? I mean,
Right.
it wasn't profound, but it was exactly what this guy wanted to hear. And we connected so beautifully. And
Yes.
it wasn't about, I was thinking, like today, I'm not thinking about our conversation. We've met. I love what you do.
It's
We're aligned
flowing.
together. I'm not even going to have any control over what I say beforehand. It's going to be natural, spontaneous, and from the heart.
And from the heart. From the heart. So use some techniques. We all have techniques, which I don't rely on my techniques. I rely on the universe telling me which to use, if any at all. Right. But I love the tapping. This is something that I've just, thank you. I mean, I've known about for a long time, but actually feel a vibrational shift when
Yes.
I do it. So talk about how you
Yeah.
came across tapping and what it does for
Yeah.
you.
So, so the counseling was first, and I
Mhm.
got a chance to work with hundreds of people around the country who were losing their jobs. And although I didn't see the connection between the counseling and that, of course, it was my grounding for 10 years to deal with people that have lost their job. And that's traumatic and mainly men. So it's even more for them important because if they haven't got a job and an income, how they're going to support their family. Certainly in the 1990s,
And definitely identity.
it's who am I if I haven't got, I'm not the bank manager. I mean, they were all institutions. They were banks, stock exchange, really huge companies. So they thought they were there forever, for life. And of course, suddenly some of them were told to not come back at lunchtime. It was so that sudden. So trauma, lost their livelihoods, they've lost their status, they've lost their job, how they're going to cope, especially the males. You know, who am I now? Well, so I was able to do a lot of counseling with those people, which as I said, I hadn't realized how valuable that was. I then did Reiki healing because anything to do with energy now is my thing. And I love the fact that you can sit there with someone with your hands and your intention and help them in some way. I love it. Then I loved hypnosis. I thought I must do something there. That's great. You could relax. And so I did hypnosis. And then one day, about 18 years ago, I somebody told me about tapping. I haven't even got any idea who. Could have been an angel from up there or something. No idea. And I started practicing. I was training and I love it. And the reason I love it the most is because I like very simple things. I like effective things and I like them quickly. So if I'm going to cook something, I want something fantastic, but with little effort. And this is what tapping is, because the tapping is around your acupressure points around the top half of your body. Although we have many acupressure points, we couldn't be doing that. That wouldn't work. So we're tapping and we're talking. Now, it's a bit like the counseling in a way, because you're offloading what's in your head, going round and round and round, as I know, getting nowhere, driving you mad. Once you talk it out, or you write it out, or you say it out loud, it comes out. It's no longer going round, it's out there. And then you're acknowledging it. And whilst you're tapping, these messages go to your brain. Your brain is extremely clever. And for me, it works like a sat nav. So just imagine you're going on a journey and that road you've always gone down, always, is closed. That sat nav will now recalculate on its own. You don't have to do anything. It will take you a different way. And that road could be closed. That's it. You've got to go a different way. This is what happens. Your brain says, oh, you don't want that anymore? I'll take you in a different direction. Now, as simplistic as that is, it is incredibly clever the way that happens without you doing anything other than saying how you feel.
Right.
So whilst you're tapping, your heart rate goes down. Your blood pressure goes down. You are in a state of almost hypnosis, but you're not asleep. That means you are receptive to receiving. That's the thing. That's very much like hypnosis. You're in a hypnotic state, awake, tapping, and the more you tap, the more relaxed you get. Naturally. I haven't yet
Naturally.
met anyone who says, oh, I can't relax. They're gone.
Because your focus now is on but your meridians, right? When you're talking,
Yes, all the
right?
acupressure points around the body.
Right.
As I say, there's many more. But if you do something like Tai Chi, Qigong, anything like that, or if you do any energy work, these are very important points to release.
Right. Right.
Even if you say nothing. So, for instance, if I'm out and something is bothering me, I do that. No one can see me. And even if they could, it really doesn't matter. I could do that for a few minutes without saying a word. And whatever it is that's bothering me, whatever, will disperse. You have to try it. You have to try it to know
Right.
how powerful it is.
To just sit there quietly and do some of the tapping and then
Yeah.
stop and just pay attention to what's going on. You can feel the relaxation, you can feel the shift.
And you won't know afterwards what you were worried about.
Because it doesn't matter anymore.
No, it's gone. It's gone. That awful feeling that you had is gone. And that's something I do in the street, on the like anywhere I might be feeling anxious. But of course, when I'm doing something specific, so if somebody has a specific thing they would like to deal with, then I will deal with that. But actually, I did something. Just want to share this with you because it just shows
Mhm.
the power of the mind and the body. I went to talk to a group of women who had cancer, just so that I could maybe teach them how to calm down if they were used, getting upset. And I didn't want to talk about cancer. So I decided to tap on chocolate. I said, so who here would like to give up chocolate? Oh, yeah, yeah, we'll do that. So I didn't want to put any emphasis on the cancer. And we started tapping around chocolate. So they were relaxed. And afterwards, they were absolutely blown away by the way they felt just tapping. It doesn't matter what you're tapping on. So if I tapped
Why
on
would you
nothing,
want to give up chocolate?
I know, I know. And I'll tell you something funny. I tapped with a friend of mine on flying, a fear of flying. And 6 weeks later, she said, Jennifer, what's happening? I've gone off chocolate. said, I'm really sorry. She wanted to lose weight, but I said, I'm sorry, but
Oh,
really,
I hope you don't do that to me. I love cocoa. I
no,
love
no.
cocoa.
I love chocolate now and again. I love a bit of chocolate. But what I mean is, it doesn't matter what you say. Your mind knows, you know what's going on. Even if you know something's not right.
Yeah, you know. At some level, you always know. And what's interesting for me, I discovered that when I become aware of what I know, I also become aware, oh, Gail, you've always known that.
You're sort of coming home, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah,
You're comfortable, you're home, you're relaxed. Whatever comes up, it'll be all right. You've done worse than that. You can deal with it. It's
yeah.
almost like a knowing that you're home. You know, when you're home and comfortable, put your feet up, watching telly, having a bit of chocolate, having a drink, that kind of thing. That kind of, oh, this is nice. That's the feeling, more of the feeling that I've ever had in my life, more contentment, more, and funnily enough, quieter. I've become far more quieter. I love to make a noise, but I, I, I can sit there, which is very unusual for me, and not say anything for a while because I'm quite happy letting other people talk but if it's this, I'll be passionate. Anything passionate, I'm up there. But it's a lovely feeling of, when they say I'm looking for peace, I'm looking for that, looking for that meditative state in a way, but being aware at the same time.
I yes. So and again, to me, it's the conscious choices. And
Yes.
I feel I've become more, the word conscious keeps coming to mind, conscious, more aware
Yeah.
um of being in the moment.
Yes.
Right, more aware of
Yeah.
hearing, regardless of your words, what's being said, and listening at a bunch of different levels. As I think in the quiet, Jennifer, you listen at multiple levels,
Yeah.
right? And then learning, this is a work in progress.
Every day.
When not to respond, right?
Yes, or not to give yourself a hard time if you do respond, because you know you won't do it again. It will be like, I'm on my
Right,
way. I'll do it less and less.
right.
The awareness makes you do that less and less, the thing that you don't want to do. You don't want to blame, you don't want to upset any, whatever it is. I find I just might take 3 or 4 goes, or, that's amazing.
Yes.
I don't even care how many goes it takes. I'm just, no, I'm going to improve without that. I'm better now. I've improved. I don't mean any of
But
that. None
there's
of that.
no end. That's the thing. There is
Yeah.
no goal. And we've been
Infinitum. Yeah.
programmed that there is a goal, right? It's like when you
Well, when
play a
you get
football
like
game,
that, yes, when you get like that, when you get thinner, when you get more money,
this will happen
you
when,
think
this will happen, right?
yeah,
And there is never a goal, right? There is always more to learn, more to grow, more to expand, more to understand, more compassion, more love. I've experienced love at a crazy level this year that I can't even explain what
that's
it
wonderful.
is, right? Because
Mm.
there's not a word for it, or at least
Well, it's kind of an ecstasy, isn't it? It's kind of an amazing. I'm actually me here doing that, but I'm feeling that.
right, right,
Mm.
and that's fine. That's fine. There's no judgment. Again, there's no
No,
judgment.
no, I mean, you don't have to go there. If you want to make changes, that's up to you. It's entirely up to you. We can't work with anyone who doesn't want to make the change. They may
Yes,
not know how, but we do. or
Right.
you do, or you'll find someone who you like to work with. There's so
Right.
many people, there's so many modalities. You just pick one you like.
Yep. My favorite line from my brother is there's more than one road to Mecca. Find the one
Yeah,
that works for you.
yeah.
And it might work for you for a season, and then you'll need to find another road. And that's okay too.
I think you've got so much choice and you have to choose. It's no good asking somebody what were they like because somebody has to say, I really like your energy. I really like when we met was very, I've really connected with you.
Right.
And you know who you don't connect with. You know immediately think, bless you, goodbye. Not for me.
Right.
Not for me.
And that can happen. Like there can be a connection, and then the growth happens
Yes,
at such a
yes,
different
yeah,
rate that there is
yeah.
no longer a connection.
But
And
that's
it is
okay.
okay
Yeah.
to give yourself permission to say, this relationship no longer resonates for me. And it doesn't mean it won't in 6 months or a year or 2 years, but right now, this doesn't feel right. Now,
But
if you're
that's
in a
learning to
part,
let go.
yes, if you're in a
Learning to
partnership,
let
that's a little bit more difficult. If you're, if you're married or in a serious relationship, it becomes, if both of you are working at personal development, then you can give yourself some space to catch up with one another, right? But if it's business or if it's friendship or even if it's relatives, if you're no longer
yeah,
resonating, then give yourself permission
yeah.
to continue on your journey and let them continue on their road.
Yes, you should never feel guilty about that because
No,
we all need to be free to go in different directions, but we can still be friendly on one level, especially if it's a relative. You can't necessarily get rid of your relatives. I
yeah,
mean,
you can try.
you can avoid and you can see less and you can do email, you can find a way of without upsetting that person. You don't have to tell them how you feel. You don't have to do that. You can be kind and just see less of them. They're
Right,
connected to you.
right. And if there is this feeling of guilt or shame or unworthiness in your choice, give Jennifer a call. She'll help you tap it out.
Tap, tap, tap. Yeah, I mean it's really interesting. I think it's both. I think you have to find your way, whichever way that is, with whatever's going on, because you know when the call comes, don't you?
You do.
You know. And then you can find the modality that you like or try different ones. I try lots of different things. If I like them, I've just been doing some quantum healing, quantum touch, which is sending healing to other countries, to around the world, to other people. That's really lovely thing to do.
Oh,
And
I've been doing that forever. Yes.
yeah, just sending love to the actually, you're sending love to the people that everybody's hating, like Putin, like, all the wars that are going on. Sending love to those people is the best thing you can do instead of
Right.
carrying on the hate and the talking and knowing no, we can't change them, but we can understand they are so distressed on one level for
So
somebody to
full
go
of
to
fear.
war.
So full of
Fear,
fear.
fear, fear.
You're so full of
And
fear.
when you're fearful, you can't function.
You
And
can't make
so
good choices.
you can see they're not making nobody in all the since time began. No one's, we'll kill people, we'll kill each other. And we'll steal their lands and yeah,
Yep.
it
And so it's interesting. I put out a post this week from a meeting I was in on Monday that says division, the more that we divide, the more irrelevant we feel. So we
yeah,
create division in order to feel important, in order to identify. And all that division does is break us up more and more, and we become less relevant.
And we don't
Relevancy
have, yeah,
comes in
yeah,
community.
yeah, we don't have to be like them. We're not
No,
like them.
no,
Thankfully, the majority of people are not like that.
right.
But I just think it's about understanding your fellow human being. And when they're angry or upset and it comes back to you, that's not your fault. It's not your problem. It's not your stuff. You just need to send them more love because they're in pain, they're suffering, and they would like to include you in it. That's human nature. I feel bad. I'm going to make you feel bad if I can.
And so back to what this means is the more that I know myself, the more that I've learned about myself, and the more that I love myself and accept warts and all myself, the more I
Yes,
can accept and love you. Because there's
exactly.
less judgment of me, so there's less judgment of you.
I think it's coming back to yourself the whole time, not in a selfish way, in a very profound way, which takes care of you first. So you've got to love yourself first. You've got to love everything about you. And then you can begin to understand and love other people and accept them for who they are, where they are, what they're doing, as long as they're not affecting you because you're not allowing it in.
Right.
Then if that's what they want. It can be very sad. It can be awful when it's your children or your husband or your wife. Or that's really, really difficult. But all you can do, even in that case, is to do some tapping and to just calm yourself down and understand that's their path. It's giving people their own power back.
Right. Right. So, Jennifer, we could go on and on.
I know. Well, we will.
So, if people want to know more about what you do or get in touch with you, how would they do that?
So I have a website, jenniferreefe.com. I have a YouTube channel, Jennifer Reefe. Just put my name in, it will come up. Um, please feel free to try any of my tappings. They're free on YouTube. Give it a go. And if you really feel that's for you, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to work with you. I love nothing more than experiencing this tapping, giving it to someone as a gift, and then seeing them. Got it. I've got it. Okay, go away and do it.
Go and
It's
do it.
empowering other people, isn't it? It's not about me, only me doing it. You can't do it. It's I'm showing you, and therefore you're empowered.
Fantastic. So, everyone, if you really enjoyed this conversation, give us a thumbs up. If you have a question or comment, please do put it in the comments. We'll get back to you. If you know someone who could benefit, I'm sure you do, from this conversation, please do share it out. And as always, please do subscribe so you know when the next episode comes. Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer.
My pleasure to meet you and talk with you. Thank
This
you.
was awesome.
Thank you for listening to the Empowering Process podcast. Be sure to visit Gail at gailcraft.com to learn more about how she serves thought leaders, entrepreneurs, and goal seekers. And remember, if you like this broadcast, be sure to share and subscribe so you don't miss an episode.